Do you? One, two.
Hello, Shabbat Shalom. Make sure that you have the proper prayer book, which is not a hardcover prayer book. Make sure you have the paper one that says, be our guest, put our service to the test. Make sure you have that one. for Disney Shabbat. Cantor Muchnick has been working all day to bake overpriced churros for you to sell after services.
You know, to keep in the spirit of Disney.
Right, to keep
They're
in
very expensive.
They're very expensive, exactly.
Yes.
So it's a fundraiser. Each churro is going to be $17.
18.
So, no. As a tip, we'll ask you for $1 to make it 18 per churro. So we calculated in the room here, and we thank you in advance for your donations to
That'll
CBI.
get us a new microphone.
That'll give us a part of a new microphone. Yes. No, really not, actually. Yeah, thanks, Paul. So those of you on our live stream and those of you here in our sanctuary, we are thrilled to have you on this fine Shabbat, together on this fine Disney Shabbat. Those of you in our sanctuary will be able to obviously see the screens very, very clearly and hear our music, hopefully, very, very clearly. Those of you, hello, on our live stream, we are thrilled to have you. Shabbat Shalom. We will have a shot for you of our service. It is not going to be a great shot because our camera angles are limited to provide you with the screens. So it's going to be a wide shot of the sanctuary, so it might not be as cozy and as tight of a shot as you see here, but it will be open the whole service so that you will be able to see the service as well and hear the music and see the videos. So we just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Before we start into the fun, into the magic of not only Shabbat, but also our Disney Shabbat, just for a moment, I want to mention that at least for the Keller family, when we go to Disney a lot, we always talk about how the world outside almost ceases to exist when you enter Disney. You spend more time worried about where the snacks are and how long it's going to take to get onto the next line, and you forget about that it's Tuesday or Wednesday or what's happening.
And how much a churro is.
Or how much a churro is, right? All of these things sort of go out the window, and we enter this bubble, this Disney bubble, and it's beautiful, which is what Disney is really all about. So before we enter the bubble, I just want to do a pre-Shabbat statement and to just have us reflect here at CBI and with Jews across the whole world to just, before we enter this Disney bubble, to obviously take another moment in this very long and very frustrating period to support Ukraine. And so I want us to think about that. I want us to take a moment, if you have not donated, wupj.org. If you have donated, maybe donate a little bit more. Whatever your comfort level is, very important to support. That's the World Union for Progressive Judaism. That is a trustworthy source to place your money. It goes directly to Ukraine. We know where the money goes exactly, and so WUPJ, W-U-P-J. And the other quick statement is our hearts, of course, go out to the terror attack that occurred in Israel yesterday in Tel Aviv, and we send our thoughts and our love to the families of those who were injured and to the three Israelis who were murdered yesterday, the victims of the terror attack, Tomer Morad, Eitam Magini, and Barak Lufen, and the other 15 Israelis who were killed these last 3 weeks in these terror attacks. So I just wanted to start that and then go on just to mention that, but also know that when you drive through those arches and when you enter that sign that says the happiest place on earth or the most magical place on earth, it's nice to be able to let that go for a little bit. It's nice to let that go, to joy in the singing, to love small world, to be on the Pirates of the Caribbean, eat all the good food, to eat those beautiful, delicious, expensive ice creams, and to worry about which line is next, and to make sure that particularly if you're bringing someone younger with you, that they're going to last throughout the whole day without lots of screaming. And so we are going to bring that into our presence. Cantor Muchnick has worked very, very hard on this to match the music with the liturgy and the imagery. And so we're so happy that you're here, and we are going to continue now in your Siddur with Hine Matov, which should be on page 1 in your Siddur as we continue with our Disney Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Welcome to the magic of CBI. We're excited for you to be our guest tonight. As we say goodbye to the past week and join together to welcome Shabbat, our time of rest, it is as if we are creating a whole new world. Continue with the lighting of our Shabbat candles, which can be found on page 2 in your Disney Siddur. We invite Renee Nadel, founding member of our Congregation B'nai Israel, to light our Shabbat candles for us. Yes, will you, if you read that, we'll read this, and then we can go on with the blessing. And I can give you a microphone and everything. Look at that. You got a microphone and everything. There you go.
Okay. I'm going to read the first part, and you guys read the second part. You ready?
Yes.
And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light, and it's like the sky is new, and it's warm and real and bright, and the world has somehow shifted all at once. Everything looks different now that I see you. Your turn. Thank you, God, for bringing us to see this time of Shabbat, for giving us a moment of introspection, helping us to put the week in perspective,
and granting us this rest
of renewal. Okay. I'm hoping I'm going to have helpers to do this. I see lots of kids out here. I need helpers to say our prayer. Everybody ready? You ready? Join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. My pleasure.
We continue now that our time is sanctified by with the lighting of Shabbat candles. Our time of Shabbat, our magical time, if you will, is sanctified. We continue to sweeten that time with Kaddish on page 3.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu bacharta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'vratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
Through a series of Hebrew songs together known as Kabbalat Shabbat, meaning receiving Shabbat, we prepare ourselves to welcome our day of rest. Our first prayer on page 5 is Yedid Nefesh, which speaks of how we should each strive to draw closer to God, how we should each go the distance.
Yedid nefesh avarachaman mishuch avdecha eretzonecha yaharut avdecha kimo Meharol lanu amzivecha
The circle of life is nature's way of taking and giving back life to earth and realizing that all things come from the same creator, Adonai, our God. And just like this circle, we are reminded of how we end our week together and again begin anew with Zamru L'Adonai. We sing unto God, thankful for this circle of life on page 6.
Zamru Adonai bechino, vekol zimra, bechatzot vekol shofar, hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai. Zamru Adonai bechino, Bechinor vekol zimra, bechatzotzrot vekol shofar, hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai yirayam ulo tevel beyoshvei Lifnei Adonai kiva, lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, ve'amim b'meisharim, yirayam ulo tevel
just as Elsa, sings words of empowerment to find her strength, Mizmor LeDavid reminds us that in our times of need, God helps us to find our strength as well. Mizmor LeDavid on page 8.
Avul Adonai b'nei Elim, Avul Adonai kavod ha'oz. Avul Adonai kevod shemo ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod yirim. Adonai al mayim rabim. Adonai oz ve'amohitain, Adonai oz ve'amohitain, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom. Kol Adonai b'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shomer azim. Shalom.
It got colder in here, I think.
Oh, yeah,
during
yeah.
that one. That was. I got colder.
My fingers
Did
are frozen.
Did you feel like the ice was forming? I was.
Yeah.
I felt it. I felt it in the room. I was like, whew. It's really. It's nice. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try playing the piano.
Yeah. I wasn't, which is why it was really good. So. Just as the genie treats Aladdin like gold, we stand to welcome Shabbat as if it were a beautiful bride. Everyone needs this special day of rest, and if Shabbat could talk, it might say, "You've never had a friend like me." Page 10.
Shabbat Kabbalat, Shabbat Kabbalat, Lecha, 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 Dodi, Likrat, Kabbalat, Shabbat Kabbalat, Shabbat Kabbalat, Shamor Bezachor Bedibur Echad, Ishmianu El Amiyuchad, Adonai שמו אחד, השם הוא תפארת ולתהילה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו בנעלך, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש ועדן נסוכה, סומה עשה ולשבת תהילה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תעריצי. על יד איש בן ארצי, בן ישמחה ונעילה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה.
You're all rising already. We turn, we face the entrance as we welcome the Sabbath bride for Shabbat.
בואי בשלום אתר בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. טובתם לים סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך.
Everyone.
לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך.
Last time.
לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה לך. לך לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה, בני שבת תקבלה.
Please be seated. It's my favorite. I think it's my favorite.
Aladdin is by far my favorite. Yeah,
Aladdin.
for sure.
Aladdin's my favorite. I can also do that whole song. I know it by heart.
Yeah?
Which I'm not going to do right now. But
You can go right in the front.
yeah,
right here. You
I
can
could
do-
stand right there and
Yeah.
do it. I could do the whole Nabob. You never had a friend like me. I can do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe after. Under the tent.
Sherizade had 1,000
Yeah.
tales. Yeah.
We'll do some
This is
karaoke.
Awesome. Yeah. Just as the beast learns to love Bel before the last petal falls, our next prayer, Tzaddik Katamar, tells us that the righteous flourish like a flower, and that when we are kind and love one another, we all flourish well, and we all flourish well together. We continue on page 12. Yes, page 12. Good job. Thank you. Yes.
שתולי להגיד כי ישר אדוני ולא עוולת בו סורי ולא עוולת בו צדיקת עמה סורי ולא עוולת בו צדיקת
Somehow the Disney writers could not figure out how to piece Aramaic into the music, so we're just going to do Chatzi Kaddish.
And neither could I.
Like Chatzi Kaddish, because we could not figure this out. We thought maybe the Waldorf and Statler, the two Muppets in the balcony, could have done it. Like, oh, who knows how to do it in Aramaic? Ha, 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 ha. But it would take away, I think. So we're just going to do Chatzi Kaddish like Chatzi Kaddish is supposed to be, which is on page 14.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבם, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב ויאמרו, אמן יהי שמי רבם מבורך, לעולם לא מהמיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקדושה בריחו לעילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעולמה, ואמרו Amen.
We continue now with our call to worship the Baruch Hu on page 15, and together we stand. We speak of God's oneness and how we connect to God with the words of Shema on page 16.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch
Our Vahavta reminds us to love God with all our hearts, with all our soul, with all our might. Can you feel the love tonight? Page 17.
Shall love Adonai your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day, you shall take them to your heart. Shema Yisrael. Inscribe them on your doorposts of your house and gates. Uchtavtam amizuzot Shema Yisrael. And these words which I command you on this day, you shall take them to your heart. Shema with all your heart and soul and mind. Shema Yisrael. And teach them to your children. Recite them night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and above your eyes. Shema Yisrael. Hear, O Israel, Adonai your God, Adonai is one. Shema
Michamocha, our prayer of redemption, recalls the momentous scene when Moses parts the raging waters. With God's help, the Israelites pass under the sea to make it to the promised land on page 18.
Kamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'ilim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. No Torah, no tehilot, chok oseh oseh ve'eleh. No Torah, נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מי כמוך, מי כמוך, מי כמוך, באלים אדוני נדם הקודש. נורא נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מי כמוך. בחוצך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי, אנוכו ואמרו. בחוצך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי, אנוכו ואמרו. מי כמוך, מי כמוך, מי כמוך, באלים אדוני נדם הקודש. נורא נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מי כמוך, מי כמוך, מי כמוך, באלים אדוני נדם הקודש. נורא נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מי כמוך. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך, מי כמוך, מי כמוך, באלים אדוני נדם הקודש. נורא נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מי כמוך, מי כמוך, באלים אדוני. מי כמוך, מי כמוך, באלים אדוני. מי כמוך, נדם הקודש. נורא תהילות, עושה פלא. מי כמוך.
Still cold?
No. Now it's like, it's very damp and there's a lot of water in here. Whew. You're playing up a storm there, buddy. You all right?
Yeah. It's all good.
Need a little splash of water? Need a little Sebastian to show up? This little song to you? Just as Mulan reflects upon who she wants to be and what path she will take, our Hashkivenu prayer reminds us that God watches over us and guides our steps on page 19.
Adonai, Adonai Eloheinu, L'shalom Amideinu, Malkeinu L'chaim, Hashivenu, Adonai, Adonai Eloheinu, L'shalom. Shalom.
Just as we are prepared to meet Aladdin with respect, we prepare to greet and honor Shabbat with intention, whether with our tablecloth or challah or a great meal or friends or family. We remember and celebrate this day of rest as in our prayer V'shamru, we sing these words, and the children of Israel shall keep Shabbat on page 20.
ושמרו בני ישראל, ושמרו בני ישראל, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, ושמרו לעשות את השבת. לדורותם ברית עולם, לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם דורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, בני בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני
That was good.
Thank you. I'm a little dizzy.
Need a little water?
There's no water up here.
I got a hand sanitizer down here. Do you want some of that? That's not going to work.
Yeah, I won't be able to sing the last
That's
song.
not going to work.
Yeah.
We're going to continue with the Amidah, also a section we could not figure out exactly how to put Disney into, so we're just going to have a beautiful Shabbat Amidah together on page 21, and together we stand.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei b'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We take some time now for our own silent prayers and thoughts and meditations, even if they're not silent. Just our own personal prayers, continuing until page 24. And then on page 24, please be seated. These little voices here every single week. So come back and hang out. It's the best. I love it. Every week. We'll make Cantor Muchnick sing every single week, the Disney stuff.
If that's what it
if
takes.
That's what, yeah, come hang out every single week. I love it. We think of those in our community who are in need of healing, a physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. We think of Chavalea Bat Esther, Gary Bendel, Daniel Bernstein, Gloria Bernstein, Lillian Bichelle, Sloan Caston, Brian Church, Karen Coles, Chuck Curry, Cheryl Cutler, Casey Daskell, Mark Davis, John Day, Jaden Deal, Judith Dratler, Martin Edelman, Margot Engel, Bobby Fitchman, Herbert Fitchman, Gene Frankel, Rhoda Friedman, Stuart Fruman, Susie Glatt, Jill Gottlieb, Martin Edelman, Ellen Hedrick, Larry Horn, Paulette Howard, Irv Hurwitz, Stan Jacobson, Ira Kafka, Shirley Kafka, Gary Kane, Bonnie Kleinman, Michelle Kingen, Esther Rhoda, Kaufman, Stuart Kruger, Gloria Land, Rochelle Liebman, Michael Stephen Linder, Michael Medoff, Yankel Yitzchak Ben Moshe, Barbara Newmark, Linda Greenblatt, Neuwirth, Arnold Plotsky, Gloria Plotsky, Elliot Porwich, Mark Rosenberg, Howard Rosenbluth, Richard Rosenbluth, Huna Ben, Ruth Moshe Ben Sarah, Lexi Schlessenberg, Jason Seidman, David Schwartz, Ezra Shashua, Matthew Smith, Diane Spiro, Gloria Spiro, Svia Bat Liba Tamara, Barbara Weiss, Ashley Weiss. To those names, we had any name that you would like to add at this time? Yishabeach can be found on page 25.
Mi shebeirach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Very quick announcements. Tomorrow morning will be our Torah study and service at 8:30 on Zoom. We think we're close to completely having the chapel set, so hopefully post-Pesach we will be able to have our morning service in the chapel in person, which we are excited about. And Pesach, by the way, is coming. So if you want to join us for lots of Pesach things, they are all on the website. There's a whole Pesach landing page thanks to our incredible marketing and communications team. It's really user-friendly and really pretty. Starts, by the way, on Friday morning at 10 a.m. with a Siyum service. So if there is a tradition for firstborn to fast on the eve of Passover. If you wish to not fast, there is a loophole, and you can come to that service and then not have to fast. So that's at 10 a.m. if you want to join us. That's on Friday morning. Friday night, when we usually have services, there will not be a service Friday night because it is Erev Pesach. So we're hoping that you're going to be home with your families doing Passover Seders at your home. If you do not have a place, by the way, for your Seder, then let us know, and we will make sure you have a place for Seder, because it's Pesach and everyone should have a place to have Seder. So we will make sure to do that. Then on Shabbat morning, it's Shabbat, and it's festival morning of the first day of Pesach, 10 a.m. service. So there's no virtual 8:30 service that morning. 10 o'clock, we will have our service in person in this room, festival morning service. And then that night, Saturday night, is second night Seder. Under the stars, we have here at Congregation B'nai Israel, there are still seats available. So if you want to come, there are still some seats. Sit outside under the stars with all of us. And there are still some seats. It's going to be kosher for Passover and delicious, catered by a VIP caterer, which you will taste some bites of, by the way, as you leave. So as you leave, you will taste some bites of VIP catering, and then you'll think to yourself, okay, I want to eat more food made by VIP catering, because it's amazing. So, and then last, at the seventh day of Pesach, and then I'm going to be done with the announcements, will be last day of Pesach, seventh day, which will be the Friday, 10 o'clock, last day festival service with Yisker. That's going to be there. So that's Pesach. I think those are all the announcements.
Yes.
What do you think? Those are good for the announcements? Yeah. I totally agree with you. It's a great idea. Great idea. Super. Excellent. So we are going to begin to conclude our service with Aleinu and then Kaddish. Aleinu is on page 26. And together we stand.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad.
We transition our thoughts now to Kaddish Tom, to Mourner's Kaddish. We think of Malvin Cutler in the period of Shloshim. Shh, this is the only time. This is the only time we have to be quiet, okay, guys? This is the only time. Every other time you can dance around. This is the only time, okay? Shh, only time, okay. In the period of Shloshim, we think of Malvin Cutler and our yard sites that occur for us on this Shabbat. Mary Austin, Murray Blayweiss, Sylvia Butwin, Arnold Chaplick, Betty Kahn, Nancy Crown, Robin Engley, Marcia Fisher, Kate Freeman, Sheila Israel, Herman Karnowski, Sydney Kemper, Ellen Koritsky, Ada Kupferberg, George Lax, Sarah Makoff, Bert Marcus, Kermit Mead, Joel Nadell, our founding president of CBI, Abraham Rich, Isidore Rich, Sophie Rich, Mervyn Ruskow, Jack Seidemann, Morris J. Shapira, our Simon Gerald Zanetsky, Judy Smalerson, Leona Tools, and Rudolph Weiner. To those names, we had any name that you would like to add at this time. Kaddish Tom, page 27. Yitkadal v'kadash shmei rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה על שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say, amen. Amen. Please be seated. Special thanks, by the way, to Cantor Muchnick, who put all of this together, lots of hours, beautifully put together with the music and the connection to our screens and to the chops and cuts of all of the movies, and to Paul for making the sound all work and for the lights to come in and out. So thank you very much, and thank you for all of you for being here on this festive and fun Disney Shabbat, where I hope we can encapsulate the magic of Disney and keep it within us for a long time. It's really, really nice. For those of us who have been into Disney, we know that it's quite magical and quite lovely. And then when you get back in the car to head home, you remember that there's life outside, which we'll have to do when we leave the sanctuary. But hold on to it, particularly because it's also Shabbat. So pull in the sweetness of Shabbat, the sweetness of family, and the sweetness that we created here tonight with our connections to Disney. We are going to conclude now with our last video, our last piece, like the warmth of a hug, a kiss, or holding someone's hand. We ask God to grant us shalom, to grant us peace with Shalom Rav on page 29.
Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav Yisrael, Shalom Rav Yisrael, Chatasim le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael, Chatasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon, Atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol tasim le'olam. Letzov letzov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael shalom rav. Shechol bechol et b'chol sha'a u'chol sha'a b'shlomecha shalom. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rabbi Yisrael, Shalom Rabbi Yisrael, Chatasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom, Shalom Rav. Shetzov etzov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, Shalom, Shalom Rav, Shalom, Shalom Rav.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for
Join us
coming.
outside under the tent for some treats.
Shabbat Shalom.
Some light bites. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.